Some news for you. I'm Kate Riley, and I do sports. You guys want to hear about sports? Serena Williams is in the news. Oh boy, this happened a while ago. I'm surprised not more people are talking about it because it's so funny. There's just something automatically hilarious about people getting upset while at the same time being wrong. Serena Williams was playing in the US Open, I think. This is my job, I should know this. It was the finals and she was losing, and one of her coaches did a hand gesture to her, which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah, thumbs up, he's telling me to come on. We don't have any code, and I know you don't know that, and I understand why you may have thought that was coaching, but I'm telling you it's not. I don't cheat to win, I'd rather lose. I'm just letting you know.
Wow. Says it all.
I don't have to say any more.
How noble. So nice. She would rather lose.
She is furious. In fact, he might have done her a favor.
Second set.
Oh! Oh!
That's interesting.
I don't cheat. So she clearly saw it as well, pointing out that you thought it was a thumbs up. Now, it's not a big deal. Basically, all that happens was that she got a warning. That's how it works in tennis. I didn't know this, but you get one warning, and then after that, the next rule violation, you will lose a point. And then after that, another rule violation, you lose a game, which is technically 4 points. I can't be bothered to get into the point system of tennis.
You may have thought that, but I want to be clear, I've never...
So she continues to argue against the umpire, the guy that enforces the rules, saying, no, I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. I didn't see him or whatever. I didn't cheat.
I can understand why you may have thought that, but just know I've never cheated. Okay, thank you, because I'm like, I don't cheat. And I know that. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Really just a reiteration.
So it ends there, right? No, no, no. She loses another game.
Wow.
And breaks her racket. And that guy's like, that girl broke her racket. I used to play tennis a lot. Actually, I grew up playing tennis. I've competed in tennis. No, not on the level of Grand Slam, okay? But for anyone to break a racket is an extremely childish move. And yeah, it's not on the same, I never competed on nearly the same level, but I've had opponents break their rackets while playing against them. It does happen, and it's always just cringeworthy.
Could be a problem. That could be a...
Now that's a second rule violation, so that she loses a point. And then that's when all hell breaks loose for Serena.
Code violation, racket abuse, point penalty, Mrs. Williams.
There it is. So...
I just sensed that there was almost tears just about to erupt, and then she got herself together.
But Serena won't have
that's
it.
A warning.
So she goes up to complain to the umpire.
I didn't get coaching. I didn't get coaching. I didn't get coaching. You need to make an announcement that I didn't get coaching.
So she didn't get coaching. Meanwhile.
Well, I mean, I'm honest. I was coaching.
He even said it himself. Yes, I was coaching. We have it on video.
I don't cheat. I didn't get coaching. How can you say that?
How can you say that?
You owe me an apology. I have never cheated in my life.
So what's her reason behind not cheating?
I have a daughter and I stand what's right for her, and I've never cheated. And you owe me an apology.
You see, if you're a mother, you cannot be wrong, and you cannot cheat. Yes, of course! That makes so much sense! Yes, queen! Yes!
It's wrong. You attacking my character. Yes, you are. You owe me an apology.
She keeps saying he owes her an apology, even though she clearly broke the rules. I gotta say, the umpire is being very patient with her, especially how much he's yelling at him.
You will never, ever, ever be on another court of mine as long as you live. You are the liar.
He's like, all right. She's crazy. But then she, of course, has to push it too far.
When are you gonna give me my apology? You owe me an apology. Say it. Say you're sorry. Well, then don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You stole a point from me. You're a thief too.
Oh, it's not going to stop.
Code violation,
Oh boy.
verbal abuse.
This isn't good.
Gang penalty, Mrs. Williams.
He is just taking the game.
So she calls him a thief, and he said, okay, well, enough. This is verbal abuse, and she loses a game, which is a big deal. Maybe a point, yeah, that's a big deal, but losing a game, that's a huge deal.
He called him a thief.
Are you kidding me? Because I said you're a thief. Because you stole a point from me. But I'm not a cheater. But why? But I told you to apologize to me.
So she uses a point that other men get away with way worse behavior, and what she did wasn't nearly as bad.
But you know how many other men? You know how many other men do things that are? I don't think they do much worse than that.
Now, here's the thing. She's clearly a bully and a terrible loser. She was losing the match regardless of what happened. She already lost against the same player before. It's just, the whole thing is just embarrassing. And a lot of news covering this story treated it like it was the umpire's fault, and saying that umpire treated her differently than a male player. So they agree with her sentiment that this was sexism. CNN posting that Serena Williams is being punished for speaking her truth. Serena is right to claim sexism. Serena Williams' talent offended umpire. Black women everywhere know what that's like. So some form of racism was involved. Getting the full truth of the story was really hard because a lot of articles ignore the fact that she broke a racket and completely focus on the fact that she got coaching, which is more of a not so cut and dry thing, because maybe she didn't see it, maybe she did, even though she clearly did admit seeing it anyway in the beginning. She is wrong. She's just objectively wrong. That umpire has a track record of being very harsh with the rules, and he was following the rules. He treats women and men equal.
But as we talk about this specific incident in question, Serena Williams was wrong. Somebody has to say it, so I will. Djokovic, given a fault on his serve for time violation, given a code violation as well for conduct after yelling. Same French Open 2017 time violation given to Rafael Nadal. He thought it was selectively enforced, and he complained about this same official, Carlos Ramos. 2018, this year at Wimbledon, Djokovic again receives a code violation. Why? For slamming his racket into the ground.
So, you know, a lot of people say a lot of dumb things when they're upset. When you get emotional, you sort of let your better judgment slide, which I can't relate to whatsoever. What did she do afterwards?
Back, Serena, but if you could change one thing about what occurred.
If you could change one thing, what would you change, Serena?
I don't know. You definitely can't go back in time, but I've seen other men call other umpires several things. I'm here fighting for women's rights and for women's equality and for all kinds of stuff.
For all kinds of stuff! Ah! How can you fight for women's equality, and how can you reinforce this statement even afterwards when you literally stole from another woman the whole show? That's right. The person that beat you at tennis felt like she had to apologize.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
I know that everyone was cheering for her, and I'm sorry it had to end like this.
And while giving the award, the audience was booing, completely ruining the show for her. And you're telling me you're fighting for women? Like, get out of here. It's really upsetting seeing how much attention and poor display of character from Serena has drawn all the attention away from Naomi's victory. I think it's so stupid. That's just my opinion, which I'm not supposed to give. Someone told me, I don't know. I don't know how things work around here. I'm new. The next news comes from Tseries. That's right, you're sick about hearing about it. All right, this is not a story. This is not nothing. Don't listen to this. I just want to ask you guys, because on my Reddit, there's been a lot of posts talking about how if you create an account in India or the Middle East, you will be automatically subscribed to Tseries. At first, I thought, no, that's impossible. There's just no way that would actually be a thing. But then I see more and more people talking about it, saying that it did happen to it. So I wanted to ask if you guys could send, if you guys notice this, please send evidence. Maybe create an account in India to test it or something like that. Because I'm curious, because it would definitely be interesting. But it is such a large question mark on the whole channel. How can a channel that has so many subscribers and gaining subscribers so quickly get so little views on some videos? The final news. Yeah, boy. Yesterday, a study came out talking about YouTube. That's right. Another one of those. How interesting. It's over 40 pages long. I read it. I'll summarize it. In this study, they coined the term alternative influence network. And these are people that are political influencers that sell far-right ideology. And they drew this hilarious, they drew this map of all these political commentators to sort of draw in a line between, all right, so if you're watching Jordan Peterson, next you're watching Dave Rubin, and then you're going over to Roaming Millennial, and then bam, you're into the Nazis. You start off with a harmless video, but before you know it, you're completely radicalized. So what do they base this analysis on? Well, because they collaborate. That's right, everybody. On YouTube, people collaborate. Who would have thought? I had no idea. Is that a thing? People collaborate? Does that happen in every single sub-community on YouTube as well? No, I never heard of it. Never happens. So stupid. Most of these names, as far as I've deduced, I don't know, aren't even far-right commentators. It's just a label to put on them for the sake of convenience. And by that measure, I'm surprised I wasn't in this. A lot of times people call me far-right, even though I never explicitly said any right-wing political view beyond any social politics. This whole image reminds me of that meme, you know, where the football coach touches his balls and then it's the same thing. Really great study. They're also enforcing that YouTube must respond. They must respond with policies against these influencers. So this study isn't just a study, it's also calling to action towards YouTube to make something about this. I could go into deep details, but I can't, no one cares. They talk about how mainstream legacy media have built credibility through fact-checking, while this study gets simple facts wrong, drawing lines between collaborations and interactions that never have occurred. They talk about how these YouTube influencers use controversy to sort of boost themselves and for monetary gains, which of course mainstream media has never done. They never use controversies to thrive themselves upon these things. Literally, The Verge's headline on this incident was how white supremacists are thriving on YouTube. That's not what the study is saying, even if we try to reach that sentiment. They also point out a lot of times, I counted 8 times, they point out how they focus on luring in young audiences. It's all about tricking those young kids into becoming radicalized in these different ideas. Political commentators on YouTube don't exist to lure people or young kids in, as this seems to allude. They exist because people want to consume them. People want to hear other people's take on things because they literally can't get it anywhere else. A lot of times with mainstream media, they have the exact same take on things, and you really have to dig deeper to get the full story. And it's the same thing with reviews of any sort. I think there's been a shift where people want to hear what other people are saying. I'd much rather hear a YouTube reviewer talk about a video game than a faceless company evaluating a game. A lot of these political commentators on YouTube are a lot more cut and dry. You either pick a virtuous stance or you take the stance that you believe is more objective. And there's just no in between. A lot of these social politics really just feels like schoolyard banter in a grown-up manner. Oh, you're bad. No, you're bad. It's all about who's evil and who isn't. I'm Kate Riley, and you watched Pew News. I'm Kate Riley, and you've just been riled up. I like that.